How's it going? Dave here, and I'm joined with my friend Lewis.
Hey, how's it going?
And we are going to be bringing you 5 unique guitar tunings that are going to really inspire you. So let's get started.
This is what I refer to as my C standard tuning, but it's kind of a bit different from what you might assume C standard to be. It's a tuning that John Mayer uses in a song called Neon, and the tuning is as follows. So it's a C, A, D, G, B, and E. So Cadgeby. Yeah, it's just a really cool tuning. It's versatile. So it's quite similar to standard tuning with just the bottom string being dropped down 2 whole steps to a C, which kind of creates this weird feeling because none of the shapes work. So an octave is like that, but it means that you've got this really nice C pedal tone to play chords over the top and kind of different intervals that you wouldn't usually think of. So like a power chord normally would be played like that, but on here to play the same thing you'd have to do it like that. So, which then if you play it with only 2 fingers, you then free up your pinky for like wider intervals. It's very cool. Another thing that you get is if you're using the cage system, you get your C shape down here. But if you shift it, you can move it up here and you get a nice root. So say you've got your C shape on the 3rd fret, which in this case is going to be a E flat. Go like that, which is quite cool. So you get E flat major. You can shift this just as much as you like. You get this really cool, rich, wide sound.
So that was a little improvisation I did in open C tuning. So open C tuning is just an open C chord, and the notes are C, G, C, G, C, and E. So we've only got 3 notes, and they're the notes of the C major chord. You drop your E down to a C, your A down to a G, your D down to a C, your G stays the same, your B goes up to a C, and your E string, your high E string, stays the same. So this is a really fun tuning to play around in. I didn't prepare a piece because I knew it's just so easy to kind of just jam to. So all you need to know really is how to play the major scale across 1 string. So if you play on, we've got 3 C strings here, what would originally be your low E, your D, and your B strings. If you play open 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 11 on any one of these strings, or a combination of them, you get these cool sounds. If you play the same thing on the G strings, which would originally be your A and G strings, except play 10 instead of 11, so you've got open 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 10, then you can make some cool ideas on those strings as well, whilst playing all the other open strings. And on your high E string, if you play 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, then you can create some cool ideas like that as well. But there's some other cool things you can do with this tuning. You can play major and minor arpeggios really, really easily. So instead of sweep picking, you can just play, for example, I'm going to play 5 and 8, and 5 and 8 on the bottom 2 strings. Same thing on both those strings. And you've got a minor 7 arpeggio, and you can just keep it going all the way down to that 2nd to last string. So and then if you make the gap a little bit bigger, so 5 to 9, with we've got a major 7 arpeggio. So that's a really cool thing you can do with this tuning. Another thing you can do is change the tuning entirely to open C minor, and all you have to do is change this high E string to an E flat. So I'm going to do that right now. So now I'm in open C minor tuning. And you have this really dark sound. I love that. So, experiment with that tuning and check out the next one.
Okay, so here we have a bit of a different tuning. This is VAD F sharp BE. I haven't got any fancy name for it. It works by dropping the low 6th string, so the E string, down to a B, which is down a 4th, and wait, no, it's down a 5th. But that gives you like the same as the 7 strings bottom string. So you go from your B to an A, which is a 7th interval, which means that you get this really cool power chord octave shape. So if you play the kind of the 1/5 power chord that you usually play, it creates a nice octave, which like in the C tuning that I played earlier, gives some room for some nice moving around with the rest of your fingers. It's got a really nice pedal tone between the low B and the higher strings, because up here the F sharp, the B and the E as your top 3 create this nice ringing, so you can pedal using the low, and create big, dreamy, washy chords very easily, which is nice. It's good for riffing too, but it's just a very kind of interesting, versatile tuning with a 5th interval between the F sharp and the B here, which helps create these big, nice, huge sonic spaces.
Alright, so this is a really nice tuning. This is D, A, D, F sharp, A and E. Your low E string goes down to a D, your A stays the same, your D stays the same, your G goes down to an F sharp, your B goes down to an A, and your E stays the same like every other tuning we've done in this video. So this tuning makes a D add 9 open chord. Sounds quite nice, like that. And what we can do is we can let these high 2 strings ring out whilst we play the chords in our D major scale. So if we take the first chord, D major, we are literally just playing all 4 of the bottom strings open, and then we're adding the top 2 strings, so we're playing every string open. Okay? So then for the second shape, we are playing a power chord at the 2nd fret, so we're playing 2, 2, 2, and then on the G string, which is now an F sharp, we're playing the 1st fret, and it kind of looks like this. And then we bring those 2 strings out as well. Then we do the same shape, but we move up 2 frets. That's going to be our F sharp minor. That one before was an E minor. This is an F sharp minor. Then we are moving to G major, so we are barring down the 5th fret with our middle finger, and then on the G string we are placing our ring finger on the same fret, and then letting those 2 open strings ring out. Then moving the same shape up 2 frets to the 7th fret. Then we're doing that minor shape again, at the 9th fret. And then for our final diminished chord, we've got this weird shape, so I'm just going to show you. It's 11, 12, 11, 10. And then you can just create some really cool chord progressions with this one. So.
Okay, so here we have the hard guy tuning, which is it's A-A-D-G-A-E, which if you pronounce it as one word is hard guy. But yes, this is a pretty cool tuning, kind of getting more into the open tuning territory, like some of the other ones are. So kind of when you play it all together, sounds quite nice. Whereas the other two tunings I covered, if you play them open, there's not so much niceness going on. But because it's a nice open tuning where everything sounds really, really cool as a chord, you get some really nice harmonic space. Really cool harmonics that you can get in there. So it's really nice for creating big, ethereal, spacey landscapes. It's also really cool because the bottom two strings are an octave apart. So you got an A, immediately followed by an A, and then further down as well you got another A. So you've dropped the B down to an A. So this means that you can do cool patterns across these three strings, and it'll sound cool up and down the fretboard, and you can just do that all the way up, which is really, really nice to have three of the same string, kind of like in Dadgad or another alternative tuning. You can just play the same thing on one string and then play it across the neck, which is always very fun. Yeah, it's just got some interesting open characteristics that kind of standard tuning doesn't have, and it makes you think in a different way. So it's really good for clean, and it's good for the kind of more distorted stuff as well.
So if you enjoyed the video, click like, let me know what you thought in the comments, and subscribe to my channel. Do you have any final thoughts?
I hope that these tunings inspire you and you go forth and write some really cool music.
We'll catch you in the next one. See you later.